got my toilet paper and my water. I think that's all I need. Hi, welcome to the Diary of a Hyperactive Knitter. My name is Melissa. I am so glad that you are here today to watch me ramble on and word vomit all over the place about everything cross stitch and crafty related, and go off on all the tangents as is evident. Anyway, I didn't think that I was going to have a lot to talk about today because I only worked on 4 WIPs, but then I forgot to talk about Wipgo in my first video, so I figured I would go through the Wipgo projects that I'm behind on. I have some sewing because I've been sewing like a maniac. I have some acquisitions, even though I said I was going to do my best to try not to enable you. I 100% failed. To be fair, I would say like at least 50% of my acquisitions were because I was enabled by other people, or at least I'm going to blame other people because that makes it easier to justify to myself. I have my knitting blanket I've been working on. I found another knitting pot rip that I'm going to show. And I even considered making like project notes before I started recording. And then I decided that I didn't want to spend the time on it. So maybe next time I might actually write something down. I was planning on doing it while at work today, like if I got a break, and there was no break to be had. But I do have my tablet, so I will try to give you as much project information as I remember to give. Sometimes I can be scattered in case you haven't learned that already. I should mention, in case you don't already know, I'm sick again. I'll save all that chit chat for the life stuff along with some other big changes that are happening in my life right now. All self-induced, nothing bad, all good stuff. So anyway, let's just jump into the actual crafting content, and then I'm sure we can do all the chitter chatter at the end. So let me pull up my tablet. The first project I'm going to show is the Mysterious Femurs and Fungi Sow by Fine Frog Stitching. I have called this 10 different things, which is my MO, so you'll get used to it. But this is in my beautiful mushy bag that I made. Again, because I know there's going to be new people watching because I already got questions last time. I'm not selling bags. Not to say that I won't like do giveaways, like if you really like a bag, I might do a giveaway for it just so that, because I'm gonna have extra, and I'll get to that later on in sewing chat. But anyway, I'm not selling them, so don't ask. But mushy bag, I love it so much. And I really am, I'll show you. I'll talk about this in sewing talk. I need to I'm trying really hard to stay on track. For editing purposes, because I had to cut out a lot of stuff for my first video. Anyway, so let's talk about this mysterious, I already lost it. Mysterious Femurs and Fungi Sow by Fine Frog Stitching. This is where I'm at. So I think when I showed it last time, this fabric, but I'm pretty sure that I was finishing up the borders. I had the first week done and then most of the borders. So I finished the borders, and then I did the second week, which, oh my God, these colors, they're so good together. And honestly, like after 2 years of stitching, I've learned how to stitch the right way. And there is no right way or wrong way. I just mean okay, let me explain something. I learned that if you are moving up in a pattern, you should start, not you should, but you can start from the top corners. I do full crosses, by the way. I do full crosses. I typically don't, unless I have to like travel and come back, don't do half crosses and then recross them coming backwards. Typically do a full cross at a time. But anyway, if I found that if I am going from top to bottom, if I start in the upper corners and work my way up, then it gives better coverage on the back and my stitches lay neater. And if I am moving my way down and I start at the bottom corners and work my way down of the little, box, then my stitches look a lot neater. So because of that, I feel like my projects have like completely transformed. I'm sure I'm gonna show you some projects later on where my stitches are just like so messy. It never bothered me at all. And I don't think it will. I'm very much just a process cross stitcher, which is funny. No, I'm a process everything. Like I'm a process knitter too. I don't do a whole lot. Like I have no FFOs when it comes to cross stitching, fully finished objects. I do have FOs, which by the way, I plan on doing a finished object video, which will be like 5 minutes long because I don't have very many. I'm gonna do a WIP parade. I have decided I'm gonna do a WIP parade. And then I'm also gonna do a kit parade because I have a lot of projects that I have kitted up. And when I had my knitting podcast, I used to use that podcast to keep track of like things that I purchased, and like if I purchased yarn I couldn't remember what I bought it for, I would go back and watch the video and I'm like, oh yeah, and then I'd go make that pattern whenever I decided to do it. By the way, I should say that today is Thursday, May 16th, 6:24 p.m. I'm gonna lose light before I'm done recording this video, and we're gonna have these shadows because the sun is setting behind my house and I have a big tree blocking my windows. I was trying really hard to get off work early today so that I could record before the sunset, and it just didn't work out for me. I really need to record in the mornings in my front room because the light in there in the mornings is just, but I'm not a morning person, so I'm not getting up before work to record a video. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm sorry guys, I love you, but I don't love you that much. Anyway, project. Finished the second one. The third one came out on Friday, this past Friday. Again, today's Thursday, so there's gonna be a new one tomorrow, I believe. She did build in catch-up days, so I think those are just smaller clues. So I'm not worried at all. These clues they're not that large. Like I think the one from last Friday, spoiler alert, is a femur, and it's gonna be in this box right here. And I think it's like I think it's just over 400 stitches, maybe 450 stitches. So I can probably get that done in a night or two if I have enough time. If I have enough time to stitch, I can stitch upwards of like 600 stitches in a night. But if I don't have a lot of time, normally my average is around 100 to 200. So anyway, I just really love this. The fabric, by the way, is from Bee Stitch Me. It's a 32 count linen. Yeah. And it's called Evil Queen. And I really am sorry about all the shadows on it, but it's just such a beautiful fabric. I absolutely adore it. I think I'm gonna have to eventually maybe order more of this, although all of her colors are gorgeous. So I have quite a bit of, I say her there, because I don't know if it's a she. Anyway, all of their fabrics are absolutely gorgeous. So it would be hard to go in there and just buy this color. Since I already have it, I would probably need to just buy all the new colors. Anyway, this is needle minder from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. New bag. I am gonna talk more about my bags in sewing talk, but this is one of my bags that I finished this week. It's my Pride bag from my Pride Sal. And I just love it. Fabric is from Spoonflower. The zipper, do you see the rainbow zipper, guys? I mean, look at it. Anyway, the zipper is from So Hungry Hippie. I don't know. Ingrid, tell the people because I don't know. Anyway, Pride Sal, Pride bag. I did get this caught up. So when I showed this last time, I was 2 months behind. Well, not 2 months behind. I was 1 month behind. But I did April's block down here. This, by the way, is from D20 Stitches. You can't sign up for the sale anymore. You had to sign up before the beginning of the year. And then this is the May clue. So anyway, there it is. The fabric is a beautiful neutral called Determination. It's a fat quarter, 20 count linen by Mislaid Pages. So there's project number 2 of 4 that I worked on. Cross stitch wise. Oh, and this needle minder, I don't remember where I got it. But again, and people can back me up. If you message me in the comments and ask, I will look it up. I just don't have a way to look it up right now because I'm recording on my phone to tell you, and I forgot to write it down. I chose not to write it down because I'm lazy. But if you want to know what it is, message me, and when I'm going through comments, I will look up the link to the Etsy shop I got it from and send it to you, and then I'll try at some point to actually say it in one of my videos when I show this next. But anyway, I love it because it says, "You're doing great, bitch." And it said, "Keep it up." And I feel like this is just something I need to know. You're doing great, bitch. Keep it up. This is more of like a PG-13 podcast, by the way. I probably should have put that warning up there because I'm not going to edit out curse words. I won't say the F-bomb. The third project I worked on was actually this week. I didn't get a whole lot of cross stitching done last week. I don't remember why, honestly. Oh, because I was sewing so much. I didn't get a whole lot of cross stitching done last week, but I did get quite a bit done this week. And guess what? I had therapy on Tuesday, and I worked on my Therapy Tuesday project. I had every intention of overlocking the edges before I recorded next, and I never got there. So the saying is going to say, "You can never cross the ocean without courage to lose sight of the shore." My therapist loves nautical themed stuff, and it's an inspirational quote, so I had to make it for her. But anyway, so I had just started putting stitches in the O and Ocean. They're totally watching me from their morning room. Whatever, it's fine. This is what happens when you live on top of your neighbors. Anyway, so I got the top of the O done. I got the top of the C done, the top of the E, and then I started the top of the A. So I think on this one, I got in like 600 and some stitches. Let me tell you. Oh wait, I don't think I can tell you because it's on my iPad, not this. I can't tell you how many stitches I got in on it. Pattern is called what the saying is. So you can never cross the ocean, ... is what it's called. And it's by Lunar Latte Art on Etsy. I said Ravelry, Instagram in my head, and then Etsy. It's Etsy. So again, You Can Never Cross the Ocean by Luna Latte Art. And I'm telling you this very specifically because I know there was somebody that commented and said they really like this pattern. So if you want to make it, you can go get it on Etsy. It's a very decent price. It is not licensed. So just know that going into that. I didn't really think about licensed artwork when I was buying patterns up until like very, very recently. So just keep that in mind. It's not licensed. So if that's a problem for you, this wouldn't be the one for you. However, I will say, I do think that she charted it herself because they charted it themselves because there was a pattern error. And honestly, I think they've had one sale. So I think I was the only one that's bought anything from their shop. Anyway, the C and Ocean was an O. So they didn't like black out the letter, the middle of the O to make the C. And I messaged her and I messaged them and they updated the pattern for me. So there's something wrong with my brain that I just assume everybody is a she. But Turtle from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. Oh, and this is just 18 count Navy Ada. I think that it's, I don't know, some commercial brand. It's very like, I got it off of 1 2 3 Stitch. Guys, I started this last night and I got a good bit done. Not a lot, but I got, I think the clue was like, I don't know, I did like a little over 500 stitches. This project is the Arctic Sow by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I feel like everybody is doing that this year. Like even people that I didn't even know cross-stitched is doing it this year. So I don't think this is really a spoiler, but if it is, spoiler alert. Anyway, the first clue came out. It's a little Arctic box. I didn't really pay attention to the clue very much, so I'm not sure what else is in there. I'm just kind of stitching away to see what pops up. Oh, there we go. That's a little better. I would say my colors are like very spot on today. There's something so comfortable about, like so comforting about working on a Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery pattern. I was telling Jason last night, I don't know what it was, but when I sat down and started working on it, I immediately just felt like a big hug. It was weird because I've never had, even with knitting, I don't think I've ever had like an emotional, like physical reaction to a project. So I think it's just the fact that Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery patterns, typically I'm stitching them on like 14 count. Like I think this is 14 count Ada, it is. So it's like super big and easy to see. There's big blocks of stitching. They use the same color schemes for all their patterns. Anyway, so this fabric, this is kit fabric because my best friend Kim, I have several best friends. One of my best friends, Kimmy, ordered it for me when I was on my cruise because I didn't know if I was gonna have cell reception. So thank you, Kimmy. But this is Picture This Plus, Cashel 28, oh no, just kidding. This is not Cashel. I did not get the linen, I got the Ada 14 count Nocturne. So there it is. Oh, and my needle minder, again, message me because this is a newer one. It's a shop on Etsy and it's absolutely stabulous. I don't know, you probably can't read that, but this narwhal is like freaking adorable. And guys, I'll tell you in sewing talk, but I got bags in the works for this. And I said bags for one project because I picked out 4 different fabrics for one project and I made a bag out of each one. I have no idea where this is from. Somewhere on Etsy, message me, I'll give you the link if you're interested. I have a couple of these from her, from them. I will say that these ones are a little wider than what I typically go for though. I find that they get in the way of my stitching because they're a little bit too wide. I was thinking about making some of these with some of my leftover fabric, and if I do, I think I'll just cut it back by like at least an inch or so. Anyway, that's it for cross-stitching whips. I went through that in 23 minutes, but don't worry, I'll probably keep you here for another 2 hours because I got plenty to show. Okay, so I think where I want to go from here is show you my Wipgo calls. So these are projects. Last time I showed you a few things, like I have 2 new starts still, 3 new starts planned, pretty much within the next month. I'm hoping to start these 3 things. One is the best friend pattern from Levi the friendship style from Levi that I suck. I showed it in my last video, so if you're curious, go look at that. So I'm gonna start that at StitchCon. That's gonna be my primary focus. And then Miss Lakowski, and I'm not talking about me, so you know who I'm talking to. If you are sneakily watching these videos, because you follow me on Instagram and you saw that I started my channel back up, look away because I didn't even think to tell you to not watch last time. So anyway, skip forward, close your ears. This is supposed to be a surprise. And even if you watch, don't tell me, just pretend to be completely surprised, okay? Anyway, my sister-in-law has breast cancer and she just finished her last round of chemo last week. Yay. She has her surgery scheduled for the beginning of June. I really had planned on having this finished so that I could gift it to her before her surgery, but she is having a bye-bye, I think it's like tatas party, maybe bye-bye tatas, goodbye tatas party, I don't know. Anyway, she's having a party before her surgery, and I was hoping to have this finished. It's not going to be finished, but I at least want to have it started. And maybe it's something that I can gift her like after her surgery is like a feel good, but also she dabbles in the crafts. So I also got her a pattern and I'm making her a bag and I'm making a matching bag for this. So right now this is in my little like Queen of Hearts Alice in Wonderland like weirdly shaped bag, but I'm in the process of making a bag for it, which I'll talk about later in Sewing Talk. So it'll have its own special bag and she'll get a matching one. But anyway, So I want to start this within the next 2 weeks. This for sure is my next start, like 100%, like nothing else is getting started until I at least start this. And then I have one more. I don't think I showed this in the last video. Maybe I did, actually. I did show this. Sorry for the crinkling. No, I'm not, because I mean, zippers and crinkling don't bother me. I'm sorry if it bothers you, but I don't know what to tell you. But that was rude. I apologize. Anyway, I did show this, but I didn't take it out of the plastic, and I decided I need to take this out of the plastic today. This is Huckleberry by Bestitch Me, and it's not showing up true to color. It's more purple than gray. It's showing way more gray in the camera. I think that actually is a good representation. Maybe a little bit darker in person. It looks a little light in my camera. But anyway, Levi and I are doing the Modern Folk Embroidery Sal. I think he's already started his, just because I think he was testing his, I already opened one, testing his fabric and color choices. So this is mine, and I'm excited. I have a bag plan for this too, in case you want to know. Anyway, in case you can't tell, I'm obsessed with purple recently, which is weird because normally I'm all about the pink. So purple has been my heart lately. I need to start this. I want to start this with him. This one is probably going to be a start after StitchCon, or maybe I'll just put like 10 stitches in it at StitchCon since we're going to be together. But it's not going to be like a big focus for me until probably later in the year. This feels like, for some reason, this feels like fall stitching to me. I don't know why. I just feel fall. Like when I look at this and touch it and I look at the picture, it just feels like fall. So probably be closer to the fall time when I really get into that, if at all, because best laid plans and all that. So Wipgo calls. I don't know what numbers were called. She has an Instagram. They have an Instagram, although this person I know is a she and she goes by a she. So she has an Instagram called Wipgo, the official Wipgo, Wipgo official, something like that. You can go look there. She has a YouTube, Jessie Marie does stuff, or Jessie does stuff. You can go look there to see the numbers that were called. All I know is that I finished my Wipgo calls for January, February, March, which I'll show in my WIP parade. And I didn't do any of my stitch alongs in April. We were gone for like 10 days in April, and work was insane in April. And also we were going through a lot of life stuff. I mentioned that before. I don't need to go back into that. But April's Wipgo did not get touched. And then in May, she called the free space. And I like to hate myself. I must hate myself. Because I put a project finish, like a goal to finish a project, a specific project, in my free space. So I have 5 Wipgo projects that I have to work on soon. So this one, I really have no freaking clue. And obviously by now you'll know I'm putting up pictures on the screen as I go, so that you can see the actual pattern versus what I've stitched. This pattern, it has to have been well over a year since I've even attempted to work on this. Do you guys ever pull out a project and you're like, you get nostalgia because you can remember specifically what you were listening to or watching when you pull that project out? I was watching Dance Moms so when I was working on this, so which I never finished. So maybe I need to finish Dance Moms when I start working on this. Was I watching Dance Moms? You know what? It might have been Sweet Magnolias. I think that's what it's called. I don't know what I was watching, but regardless, I think I was watching both probably. Anyway, I can tell you I have 811 stitches out of 46,464 stitches on this project. Obviously, it's full coverage. Maybe not obvious to you, but 46,000 stitches is a lot. So this is called Mini Forget Me Not. And it is by Michelle Saeta and charted artwork by Rachel Anderson, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I'll have shown you the picture by now. This was a start with my friend Agatha. This is all I've done. It's like the top corner. So we watch Vani from Canada Da Da Da. I'm sorry if I offended any Canadians, that's how I say Canada. But Vani, which is, I think, Thread the Needle on YouTube, she was doing a stitch along with this pattern, and Agatha and I both, for some reason, fell in love with it. I think we both tend to like the fantasy, fairy, like, kind of stuff. So we decided to stitch that together. I want to say that Agatha finished hers, or she at the very least is like way further into it than I am. I'm going to ask her, and I'm going to have her send me a picture of hers so you can actually see how gorgeous this looks knit up, made up, started. And honestly, if it weren't for her, I would probably not be doing, this is like the mini version. Let me find out. View PDF. Yeah, this is the mini forget-me-not. I think it's a cropped version of the actual bigger piece. And if it weren't for her, I probably would have done like the supersize max color, requested that, because that's the kind of brain that I have. But she, however, is a little more mature than I am. And she actually thinks through things and isn't as impulsive as I am. So because of her, she's just a good influence on my life is what I'm trying to say. Because of her, I only have to stitch 46,000 stitches instead of 500,000. So thank you, Agatha. However, comma, there's always a however, comma in my life. And I'm going to pull it up on, I don't even know if I can get to the patterns, but in case you didn't know and you're not familiar with this pattern, I can't use Android. Speaking of Agatha, I need my freaking tech support. I just need to move her. She lives in Louisiana. I just need to move her to Ohio, make her move into my bedroom, and not my bedroom. I mean, I could kick Jason out. Like, she can live in my bedroom with me. It's fine. My guest bedroom, so that she can just be next to me when I record these videos and like fix what's not broken, fix my brain, because I can't figure this out. Also, she'd have to live with me in my bedroom, and we'd have to kick Jason out, because I already told Megan, the Seattle stitcher, that her and her husband and kids can move into my guest bedrooms. So pretty sure that Agatha would just have to live in my bedroom. Anyway, that's okay. Jason can go live with Kim. We have mini rows, which I'll put up here. All the artwork, it's all by the same person. The artwork's done by the same person. It's charted by the same company. Lily of the Valley. This is mini forget-me-not. Mini rows. Good thing I haven't told you the fabric count yet, or the fabric, right? And then mini, what was the other one? Lily of the Valley. So I got, even though they're full coverage, what is that? Do you hear that? Oh, it's my robot vacuum running upstairs in my bathroom. Anyway, okay. So even though they're full coverage, I did want to work on colored fabric. But anyway, this is, I wouldn't know what colorway this is because I took the tag off. But on these ones, I can tell you that the fabric is all the same. So it's all white chilt, Lugana 25 count. So I'm doing 25 count 2/1, which I love 25 count 2/1. Most people that I've seen do 1/1 25 count. I don't like to see the fabric behind my stitches. Like I thought about doing 3 strands on my 14 count project because I'm a full coverage gal. Have I mentioned that? I like it. I like my full coverage projects to be like a freaking tapestry, just like thick and dense. And as long as it doesn't warp, because then if it warps, I think I was trying 2/1 tent stitch on like some crazy small count, like 36 count. And it was like, maybe it was 2/1 full cross. But anyway, it was too thick. It warped the fabric. I didn't do that. I scrapped it. But all that to say, 25 count 2/1, not much to show here, but I keep showing it. And then RBG stitch marker, because this reminds me of all my girlfriends because we just all rock. So it says, women belong in all places where decisions are being made. And let me tell you, I have been lucky enough to surround myself with the most amazing, strong women you will ever meet in your entire life. So what I did with my Wipgo goals, by the way, speaking of May Mania, I know it's May Mania, but listen. So I haven't done May Mania for like years. I did it 2 years ago, and that was enough for me for a while. But so my Wipgo goals was to work on all of those WIPs throughout the year and round it up to like the next big number. So if it was like at 500, then I wanted to do 500 stitches to get it to 1,000. If it was like at 1750, then I would do the 250 stitches to get it to the 1,000 number, whatever. So this is gonna have somewhere between like 200 and 500 stitches on it for Wipgo. So I made my Wipgo goals like super accessible because I know myself. And I know if I'm going to set a lot of goals, that I need small ones. And my goal for this year was to let go of the goals, because if you know me, I think it might be gonna storm. Anyway, if you know me, you know that I'm a little crazy. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Next Wipgo project that was called is Happily Ever After by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. Also, if you'll notice, I added a bunch of needle minders to my collection since I've seen you last. I went a little needle minder crazy. So it's like, if I have to have matching bags for my projects, then I have to have matching needle minders. Anyway, there's my rainbow stitch marker. I've been looking for it. Anyway, so this is called Happily Ever After by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. It's one of their bigger ones. I think I mentioned in my last video, I went Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery crazy. I did a lot of those starts for May Mania, but again, it's like comfort project. 14 count, you can't go wrong. There's my start. So whatever it takes to get to the next big number, just to say I worked on it this year. This is 14 count, picture this plus. I mean, if you know the Frosted Pumpkin styles and you know they normally give you like this little, thing of fabric, that should tell you like how big this project is going to be, because this is a big one. It's a big one. I don't know why I like all these cutesy patterns. They're not something that I would ever see myself like fully finishing and hanging up in my house, but you never know. This one is the free space that was called, which I mentioned my free space, I put a finish, which it's not like a huge pattern. So it's really like not that big of a deal, but my friend Levi gifted this pattern to me. And I want to pass it on to another friend. My friend Bonnie really likes it. And I keep telling her, like, I'm going to give you this pattern when I'm done with it. And it shouldn't take me that long. I should be able to knock it out and whip it out. Listen. Actually, Levi, I don't think his videos are up anymore. They might be. He might have some cross-stitching ones up. I don't know. Go check it out. WTF Knitting. But anyway, he finished this into a pillow, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It's called Judge Not, and it's kind of hard to see. It's by Plum Street Samplers. And it's got all these little sheepies, and they're all different. And I don't know. I'm pretty sure Levi did. I don't know if I'm going to stitch them as is, because I think he took one of these stripy ones and made it like a pride sheepy. And I might do the same thing, because I think that's a great idea. But this is actually, I'm stitching the, unless I specify it's being stitched with DMC, but this one I actually am using the call for, which is Classic Colorworks. And I don't like this fabric, but it was when I didn't know better, and I just bought whatever the fabric was called for. So this is 36 count white Edinburgh linen by Zweigart. I hate Zweigart, but I don't like the texture of their linen. Anyway, that's what I have done, which when I did May Mania, I did a new start every 2 days. And considering this is 2 days worth of progress, like I said, I don't think that it's not going to take me that long to finish this project if I can just sit down and finish it, which apparently I'm going to be soon, because my goal for this is a finish. And then again, caterpillar cross stitch, be kind. Oh, I had my rainbow needle marker on my last one. I didn't show it, I don't think, but it's also caterpillar cross stitch. And I think it says be positive or something, and it's a rainbow. I'm all about the motivational quotes. I don't know why I just put that in there. That's not where that goes. This goes in here. I did spend the 500 hours it takes to take a picture of this pattern and put it in Pattern Keeper. Like, you can do that. It just takes a long time to do. It's a pain in the ass, but to me it's worth it, because I don't like knitting off of paper charts. Cross-stitching off of paper charts Can't tell you how many stitches it is left, because according to this, it says 20,000 stitches, but that's not right because it's counting all the blank stitches too. So I've done 504 stitches in this. 2 years ago, I thought that was a lot for 2 days of work. So if that tells you like how much speed I've picked up. So anyway, now I'm faster. Maybe I can do more. Anyway, judge not, Plum Street. For May is my winter, no, I think it's Autumn Quaker actually. Yeah, not Winter Quaker. Autumn Quaker. Oh, guys, I forgot how much I love this pattern. So Autumn Quaker by Rosewood Manor. Guys, look, can I tell you, when I first started cross stitching and I saw patterns like this, I was like, I'll never cross stitch something like that. It's so grandma-y. This is when I was doing all the cutesy little frosted pumpkin stuff. Listen, I have a whole new appreciation for these patterns. Once you appreciate the design work and the background, because there's always like history behind the pattern, and the materials, you fall in love with this. These colors, it's so beautiful, so gorgeous. And I really took my time on this. I really have been taking my time on this. So Levi and I had a plan. We were gonna start on the equinoxes. We were gonna start, we did the first two. So on the autumn equinox, we started, is it called the equinox for autumn? I don't know, the 21st of the first quarter, whatever. Anyway, we started this on the 21st of the equinox. I'm gonna call it the equinox. And we worked on it for 3 months, whatever we could get done in that 3 months. And then we started, like in winter, we started the winter one. By the time spring came around, we gave up. We never started spring. Well, I never started spring. I don't think he did either. So this is my next Wipgo call. So I'm gonna put some stitches in on this. My little needle minder. Now this one, I have no idea, and I don't think I'd be able to find it in Etsy. I'm just kidding. I do know. Adam Hart cross stitch. Adam Hart. Adam Hart floss thread heart bobbins things. Floss bobbins. She sells needle minders, and they're super cute glittery resin ones. So she did that. I'm my neighbor's favorite show right now. Just to let you know, they're watching me. I should just send them a link to my YouTube channel so they can just watch the whole thing, be able to hear what I'm saying when I'm talking to myself. Anyway, I have the call forward floss. I think these are Valdani. Yeah, I'm using all 3 strands. I think Levi was splitting his up. Actually, I can tell you. Yeah, I'm using all 3. So 3 strands of floss. Fabric. God, this is gonna take, I hope you guys like this because this is a scattered mess. This is Bloom Cashel Linen, 28 count. Doubloon, D-O-U-B-L-E, B-L-O-O-N. And it's Picture the PTP, Picture This Plus, so it's their linen. I love Picture This Plus, man. I know they're like a bigger company, but I love their fabrics. So anyway, Valdani flosses for that. Since we're here, might as well show you. I mentioned Winter Quaker. I thought Summer Quaker would be my favorite, but I think they're all my favorite. This was 2 pages, by the way. I got 2 pages done. And there's Winter Quaker. Right? You guys, can you? I can't. Okay. This fabric, this color, all the same fabric, all the same count, Picture This Plus. This one actually doesn't have the tag anymore. Imagine that. Which is funny because I started Autumn Quaker first, but I have the tag for that one, but not for this one. And then I have spring and summer, so spring and summer. These are just a call for. This one is Valor. And then this one is Truffle. Oh, Levi loves truffle. I love truffle too. Oh my gosh. I told him the other day mine was super beige. It is not beige. It is pink. This is showing beige in camera. The camera cannot pick up the color of this fabric. It is the cutest, prettiest, lightest pink ever. I told him mine was beige, but I think it's just because every time I see pictures of truffle, it's beige. This is light pink. Like, look, you can kind of see it. That's more like what it looks like. And this is green, obviously. And then blue and brown, and I freaking love them. I need to get back to working on them. What season is coming up? Summer? Ooh, that's the one I want to start the most too, because I love summer. I also have the flosses for winter here. These are a hot freaking mess. And then I think this is summer and this is winter, or this is spring and this is summer, because this has the pinky colored floss that I love. Okay, so there's my Wipgo plans. I don't know, I should make it a goal like once a week I hit once per recording session, I do a Wipgo call. No, it has to be like once a week, because that's the only way I'm gonna get caught up. Not that I have to get caught up. Oh, I have one more. How many was that? 4? Yeah, I lied. I do have one more. I thought I had one more. I have another one. Frosted Pumpkin Citrus. This is the last one for sure. This is called Storytime. It's another big one. It's so funny that this and Happily Ever After got called together, because pretty sure I started them very close together. But again, not a huge start at all, if you can even see it. Just started working on the banner. I probably had something going on and wasn't able to work a lot on this. No tag. I know it's Picture This Plus. It's linen, not Ada. I'm not sure what the color name is. It's probably the called for, because when I first started, I kitted up everything with the called for. So anyway, I'll put those off to the side as my work on pile. And in fact, I'm gonna move this one over with that, because I'm going to start that this week. Okay, cross stitch haul before we move into other crafts. Stitch markers, I have enabling. This is the enabling portion. I would like for you guys to stick around, because I have knitting stuff to talk about if you're interested in seeing that. My Eclipse project fell, and I have sewing stuff that I want to show. But if you don't want to be enabled, skip past this part. I would say it's probably going to take me an hour. I don't know. Just keep fast forwarding until you don't show me showing stuff anymore. If you'd like to be enabled, hi, welcome. Get your pen and notebook out, because I'm about to show you some stuff. I said I wasn't going to do this, but I did it anyway. So this person, I need to go and review their Etsy page. It's needle minders. I got a ton of new needle minders, but I put them up on here before I could remember to show them on the video, because I forgot to do that. So as I put them on projects, I'll show them to you, and then we can talk about them. Okay. So these, look, it's a poop emoji. So it's a rainbow poop emoji. This is what I should put on my Pride project. This is Denkai Designs, DENKAI Designs. They have a .com, and they also have an Etsy. I got this on Etsy. So poop emoji, and then penguin, because it's a penguin, and I really like her backs, their backs. I know this is a she too, because I talked to her, but anyway, it's like this velvety, like they make their own like velvety magnetic backs, which I really like, especially because this is a big one. It's like they took like a pendant or something and turned it into a stitch marker, which I have so many needle knitting, what are they called? Enamel pins that I just need to make into stitch markers, needle minders. She also included this little freebie. Moving on. So this next one is Levi's fault. Not really, it's totally my fault. So he was watching my video. Listen, he was watching my video that I put up last time, and he saw the part where I said I was practicing my stitches to work on a Mirabilia or Bella Filipina, and that I was too nervous to start one. And he messages me and he goes, hey, we are starting one at StitchCon. Pick one out that you have. He didn't say that you have, he said pick one out, pick one. He said pick one. I'm assuming he meant for my stash, because he is very much more economical than I am. Anyway, he said pick one, and I'll get the same one and we'll start it. And I was like, great idea. And for about 5 seconds, I started thinking through the ones that I had in my stash. I've got mermaids, and I've got like Oh, I've got Sabrina. Is it Sabrina? No, I don't have Sabrina. I have the other one. Anyway, I have one, and then I have the Alice one. Like I have some fancy ones, okay? And I was gonna pick a mermaid one because I think that that's the amethyst mermaid. The one I was gonna pick. And then I was like, Levi doesn't want to stitch a mermaid. In fact, all the stuff I have is pretty girly. He's not gonna want to stitch any of that. I should go find something that he would like to stitch and buy it. So I did. So, see, this is how my head goes. So this is Nightingale by Nora Corbett. If you are a Fancy Lady fan, I know that you've seen this before. My mom is a nurse, Levi is a nurse, and I thought that this would be a good one for us to do together because I've seen this and I want to make this for my mom. I think her favorite color is blue. She's a nurse. I think that she absolutely would freaking adore this. I think that she would really cherish this, and then it can be handed back down to me, and then I'll have the memories of making it for her, and it's just, you know, it's just that connection. So anyway, bought the bead kit. I bought 2 of the specialty flosses. I think it only calls for 3, but 2 of them were out of stock. So I bought this one when I bought the fabric, which I'll show the fabric in a minute. And I bought, oh, don't run, Krynick. But then this was out of stock and I hit that notify me button. And then it notified me a week later. And it can't travel alone. So I got these 2 patterns that were in my wish list from Market. So I got the Fox and Rabbit Queen of the Night. It's absolutely gorgeous. This one is huge. I saw the actual like big piece of this. I thought it was small, it's big. And then they come at night. I love these, love them. It speaks to my witchy soul. And then I got the call for Krynick for those with that purchase. I have another 1, 2, 3 stitch order in the mail. So then we got to talking, and I have been with the Fancy Ladies. I don't like the called for fabric they come on. For some reason, I got it with the very first Mirabilia I ordered the call for, and that was when I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start picking my own fabric because I don't like the texture of this. I'm not doing something this nice on something like this. So not to shit on the fabric that they pick, it isn't my style. And I didn't like the green with the, I mean, it looks okay, but I didn't like it with the nursing. And my mom's favorite color is blue. So I Googled images of finished projects. And there was one that was AI generated that had like a navy-ish, greenish background. And I was like, that is so pretty. But my worry was that it was gonna clash with some of the darker threads. So I went ahead and bought it, and I bought a ginormous piece of it because those will fit on a fat quarter, but with very small margins. And I need margins, especially for something like that. I feel like I wanna do a big frame with some matting and whatnot. I've never fully finished anything. Listen to me talk about it like I know what I'm doing. Anyway, here it is. It's a little more teal in person than what it is showing. This is Mystic by Picture This Plus. It's 32 count Belfast linen. Yeah, anyway, guys, it's so pretty. Again though, it's gonna be a toss up. The only thing that I think might save me is that because I really wanna do it on this. The only thing, but I'm gonna test the darker colors. I didn't pull the DMCs yet for a floss toss. I'll do that before I go to StitchCon. But I think I might be able to get away with it because that's a beading, and I feel like you might be able to see the beading, and it's a little bit darker of a blue than the background. It worked in the AI generated image that I saw. So I'm hoping that when I try it out, I mean with the beads, I think the beads would be okay. Because I feel like they're dark and different enough in the blue theme that it would work. But since I wasn't sure, I bought 3 other colors to just, you know, make sure that I got the right one and do a floss toss on all of them. If I don't use it for this, I'll use it for something else. Listen, I have decision paralysis. I have impulse control issues. So if I have to make one decision that doesn't involve like what I'm eating for dinner, even that is like too much of a decision for me. If I have to make a decision on something, I don't make it. I just buy everything that I'm deciding between. So this was the other option because it was closer to the green that they use in the picture. I do like this color. It's Haunted, and actually this is the one I thought I was going to use, because in the picture, it was very like, it had purple and gray. No, oh, I can actually see the purple in the camera, but in person, I can't see the purple in person. I can't. This is looking so beautiful in the camera. This photographs so freaking well. In person, it is not this light. It is very dark. You cannot see all that modeling. I am shocked by how this looks in the camera right now. I have never seen Haunted in person. In the camera, this looks like what you see everybody else post. That is not what it looks like in real life, even from far away. So just caution you there, but I still love it. It's still a beautiful color. A lot of people like to use it. And I think it might work for my aquarium Sal. Did I mention I'm doing the aquarium Sal from Lola Crow cross stitch? I bought the pattern. I'm gonna start it soon. I'm setting this aside because I think that's what I'm gonna do this on. I'm not gonna do a floss toss, but anyway, surprise. I'm gonna put that on my start pile. I cannot be left unattended. Here are the other two options. Very nice blues. This one is Ariel. These are all Picture This Plus, Belfast linen, 32 count, which I'm thinking I probably should have got 28 count, because Levi was talking, he's making Lady of the Flag, and he said that he's having some crowding with the beading. So I need to talk to him and find out. I need to be careful putting this in right here because it's going to get purple on it. Anyway, I'm going to find out what count he's using for that and make sure it's not 32 count, because I don't want to have issues with the beading, because this has some dense beading in it from what the pictures look like. Anyway, beautiful color. I will use it for something else. Not sure what yet, but I'll find something for it. This one, however, is probably my favorite of the blues. My favorite is the Mystic. This one is Dwarf. And I think this is probably going to be the one, right? Because it's the perfect lightish blue. It's not too light. It looks light in the camera, but you compare it to this one, it's a lot darker. So, and the modeling on it is just stunning. And I think that this is more of my mom's favorite color. She's a baby blue kind of person, but she likes baby blue, but she likes like the darker baby blue, if that makes sense. So anyway, I think this is probably gonna be the winner. Still gonna try Mystic, because in my heart, I really wanted on Mystic. My mom also loves teals. But these are probably gonna be the two I'm gonna test stitch before I go to Stitch Gone. Put like a little X's in the corners with some of the darker colors of floss, and maybe even the specialty flosses. Maybe even tie on a bead, probably not. But my guess is probably this one's gonna win. So these are gonna go into my pile for Stitch Gone. My pile is getting quite big. I have two more. This one really isn't my fault. Megan, Seattle Stitcher, is making, she just had a baby. And so she's been looking for like some really easy, comforting projects to work on. And she bought, or her husband bought her, the Dimensions cross stitch kits, stocking kits. She kept showing it, and I wanted to make, so my first memory of cross stitch, of learning what it was, my mom, again, she's a huge influence in my crafting life. My mom was cross stitching stockings for me and my cousins for Christmas. Megan, Seattle Stitcher, husband bought, she bought, they purchased stocking kits. She's been working on one. She keeps sewing on Instagram, and I message her. I'm like, can you please stop showing these? Because I'm trying to be good. And you're making me really want to buy one, because I've always wanted to make one because I have that memory. Oh, my mom. So they moved, and I asked her, hey, do you have those? Like when I started cross stitch, I was like, I want to finish them for you. And she was like, no, I have no idea where they went. I probably got rid of them. They're gone. I'm like, sad day. So anyway, so I've been wanting to make a stocking, and I was looking for some patterns to like make the stocking. And then Megan showed her kids, and I'm like, stop showing them. She kept showing them, and she's like, just do it. It's the best thing ever. So I did it. There's actually one still coming from Amazon. Also, I was going to buy them on 123 Stitch, but she gave me a little tip that they put these on sale on Amazon quite frequently, so I was able to actually get them cheaper on Amazon. The one that she's making, because it's absolutely fabulous. It's probably my favorite one that Dimensions has. I'm not a traditional Christmas girl. I like the more whimsical, like darker kind of stuff. So this goes along perfectly. And for some reason I had it in my head that I need 3 stockings. I don't need 3. I don't know why I'm even making these stockings, because Jason hates Christmas. But I have it in my head that I need 3 of them. So I have another one coming, and I really like that one, but this was my 3rd favorite. So this one, it's also got like the darker sky. So it's not like my favorite, like it's not something I would pick if they had other options, is what I'm trying to say. But out of what they had, this was my 3rd favorite, and I bought 3. So when the next one comes, I'll show you. But this is probably absolutely ridiculous that I bought these at all, because I don't know, maybe I'll start it around Christmas time. So, one more enabling thing that I actually have a question for you guys, actually 2 questions. So before I go into knitting and sewing. So my first question is this. My friends have gotten into stamped cross stitch lately, and I have perused the stamped cross stitch world before. And I've always talked myself out of it for whatever reason. I didn't think I would like it because I really like the details of the counted cross stitch, and I don't like the bigger counts. Like, I'm okay with 14 count, but 14 count on a stamped cross stitch feels different than like 14 count on a fabric in my mind. Whether or not it actually is, I don't know. If you've tried stamped cross stitch and you've tried counted cross stitch and you've compared them, let me know below what you think. My friends seem to freaking love it, and they do both. So they've been going on like this whole kick, and I had some bad days in the past couple weeks, and I was looking into it. But now that I have, sometimes I wish I didn't know what I know now. So there's a whole issue with, and I'm not going to get into it a whole lot because I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but there's a whole lot of issue with licensing and licensing from artists. These foreign companies come in and they knock off these patterns that these designs that these artists have made, and they print them and they sell them. The artists get no money for their work. They get no credit for it, which sucks, and I empathize with them 100%. But I think what really hit home was actually in the past 2 weeks. And if I can get him to give me the article, this is something that I will put down below because I think that it's really important if you're interested in reading about it. We are all artists. We're fiber artists, whatever you want to call us. Like, just because we craft somebody else's patterns, it's still a form of art. And so my husband has an associate's degree in art history. He loves art. We go to all the freaking museums. He tells me all the information. Like, I love it. I love that it's something that he is so passionate about, that we bond with. In fact, he's starting to paint again. I mean, think about the patterns that are designed for us, right? Somebody created that pattern, whether it was digital or not. Somebody took the time to create that, and then you see it and you're like, oh, that reaction, somebody put hours and hours and hours of work to get that reaction. So anyway, all this to say, with stamped cross stitch, I've had a really hard time finding any licensed material. No shade to anybody that has purchased unlicensed kits or what's it called? Patterns, kits or patterns. Like, I am not judging anybody. However, for myself, I become more socially conscious of it more recently, because there was an article saying that one of the most prestigious university, and this is probably 100% inaccurate because it's third party. Like, Jason read the article and told me about it. I didn't read it myself. So I'm gonna kind of summarize it. So recently there was a university that came out and said that they can no longer, in good conscience, offer their art director program. So a university is no longer offering a program where people can go to get a degree in it, to take the classes and get a degree, because the unemployment rate for that program is so high. It is ridiculously high. And even if you do graduate, the amount of money that you spend on the degree is way too much for what you'll actually be making. That being said, there are thousands of other professions that are the same exact way. For example, teachers, right? They have to get a master's degree, which costs a ton of money, and they get paid shit. They get paid crap. So I want to support artists as much as I can. So if I am going to purchase things in the future, I'm going to try my best to make sure that they are either licensed or free source. I forget what that's called, open source images. So I want to try stamp cross stitch. All of this to say, I really want to try stamp cross stitch. However, if I purchase the kit, I want to know that it's licensed. And from what I understand, companies who have licensed artwork are required to say who they licensed it by in their description, in their product description. So when I went to like VIP cross stitch, obviously foreign company, looked through, there wasn't a single piece. I probably looked through like 25 to 50 pieces, somewhere between there. And there wasn't a single one that I could find where they credited the artist. And some of them I know for a fact are major artwork designs because I've seen them charted by other companies by that artist. So I really want to try stamp cross stitch. I want to do it socially, ethically. Is that the right word? Ethically, socially ethical, whatever. Anyway, because I want to make sure that the artist is getting paid for the product that I am consuming. So if you could let me know if you know of any companies or any specific kits that have been licensed down below, I would greatly appreciate it. Knitting, off that soapbox. Knitting. So, my blanket. Last time I showed this, I think it was like itty bitty. I have been putting a skein a day in. That's been my goal. That's been what I've been able to stick to. And it's getting huge and it's so comfy, cozy. This is Knit Picks Fable Fur. Knit Picks Fable Fur. I mentioned the colorway in my last video. I don't remember what it is. But I only have, I think, 7 skeins left to go. So technically I could have this blanket done in 7 days if I continue on my hot streak. These skeins take me like maybe an hour and a half, an hour to put one in. It's like 70, 75 yards or something like that. The problem is that it used to take me less than an hour when I first started. Now it's super heavy, so I'm knitting slower. I'm having to hold the blanket differently, like having to loop it around. But 7 more skeins in this, and I'm hoping that it'll reach the floor soon so that I can take off some of the pressure of it like hanging down. Because right now I have to like pile it on my lap and like knit like this, and it's just not uncomfortable, but it is super soft. Prince, my cat, has already claimed it. I can't get him off of it. So my animals and everybody in my house, as soon as I make a blanket, they claim it. Every time. So Princess claimed this one. So I leave it out. I have the needles like tucked away so that he can't get on them and hurt himself. And I leave it on the chair and he like cuddles up on it pretty much all day. I'm surprised he's not in here right now. He was over here a little bit ago. And then when I'm working on it, he literally sits next to me and stares at me. Like even when it's not food time, because he does that normally when it's food time, he stares at me because he's like, come feed me. But even when it's not food time, he sits there and stares at me and watches me knit. And if I stop, he'll look up at me like, you better keep going. Like he wants this done. So I'm going to finish this one and then I'm going to start right into the next one. I have 3 blanket quantities to make. That one should be done by the next time I record. And I found another knitting WIP. This is a hat that I had started for my sister-in-law. And I actually have another one that I already finished. So when she first was diagnosed, she asked for some like big chunky hats and I like knocked out like 4 of them and I gave those to her, and it was like beginning of winter time, middle of winter. So she wore those like every time I saw her, whether she was posting a video or I saw her in person, she was wearing one. She's very knit worthy. So I had made her, I'm like, she's gonna want some thinner ones, right? So I made her one out of this for the like February time frame, and then I had closed the crown, but I never like darned in the ends and gave it to her. So it's still sitting upstairs, which I'm like the worst, right? So I was making a second one, and this is actually Madeline Tosh, I believe. I don't have the yarn skeins, so I can't tell you for sure the name of the colorway, or I do know that it's single ply. It's supposed to be fingering weight, but it feels so freaking thin, especially after knitting that bulky yarn. To me, this feels like lace weight, but it probably really is fingering weight. So I need to finish that. And I also bought her some, cashmere yarn, not all cashmere, it's like MCN, merino cashmere nylon and they're 150 gram skeins from Emma's Yarn Company. And I was gonna make her some muscle burr hats. Never got around to them. So I imagine my goal is to knit up the yarn that I have on the main floor before I start digging through my stash upstairs, because I want to work through my stuff. I want to get back into knitting. I won't say never, but I probably won't get to the point where knitting as much as I was before, because I really love cross stitch and that's where my heart, my time is. But I am trying to devote at least a couple hours a week to my knitting, because I do have a lot of nice stuff and I want to make it. Like, I want to make it. In fact, I'm in the mood to make a sweater. I'm gonna knit. It's probably gonna be at least another year before I make a sweater, let's be honest, because I'm gonna knit through the stuff I have down here, and then I'm gonna finish a blanket that I have started that I'll show probably in a WIP parade. Some bags. I finished some bags. So you already saw one, my LGBTQ bag. One for me. I made one for Levi. I still have more of this fabric, and I'm gonna make one for my friend James, and then I'll probably make another one. I don't know if I have enough for two more or one more. Anyway, I'm gonna make another one. So I have some fat quarters Alice in Wonderland fabric. I talked about that before. So I decided every time I do cut out a batch of bags, I'm gonna cut out a batch from that as well, so that I can use up some of that fabric, because I want these in bags. So this is the one that I went with this last time. So I have two of those. And then one of these I'm taking to stitch on, probably this one, because I think I'm gonna keep this one. It has sparkly vinyl. So the deal is, and this is how I justify buying fabric for myself. When I first started sewing these bags, my thought process was like, oh, I have fabric and I'll use the fabric I have to make the me made bags. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch my last video. Anyway, that was the whole point, to use the fabric stash that I already had. And then I started going down this rabbit hole, but I could match my projects to my fabric for my project bags. So I bought a bunch of fabric and I justified it because I said, for every bag I make myself, I'll make a bag for a friend or to take to StitchCon to give away as my table gift. So that's how I justified it. Since then, since I bought my last batch of fabric, I have made a list in my phone of like 15 other project fabric ideas for my projects. Like I'm buying the Fabulous Houses patterns, so now I need a bag with a house. For my MFE sow with Levi, it has a clock, so now I need to make us clock bags. Like for the nursing, for the Nightingale sow, we needed a Nightingale bag. Like, so I have a list, and I think what I'm gonna do is like every 2 to 3 weeks, with how much I'm sewing right now, I can buy like 4 or 5 prints is what I'm thinking. We'll see off my list. Because once it's an idea in my head, I can't talk myself out of it. It's the weirdest thing. Like once I have an idea, it has to be reality, and that's the problem. So anyway, bags. I made this for my temperature cross stitch. So I have been obsessed with weather and tornadoes lately, which is really bad. I've been watching storm chasers on YouTube, like live, and I can't stop. So fascinated with weather. And I've been watching the old documentaries on YouTube about some of like the big like historical tornadoes and EF5s. It stresses Jason out, so I have to watch it on my iPad with my earbuds in, like, and not talk to him about it. So anyway, temperature cross stitch bags. This one's mine, this one's Levi's. And then I'm gonna make one for my friend Bonnie, because I know that she's doing a temperature cross stitch as well. And then if any of my other friends are making, if they tell me, then I will make them one too if I have enough fabric. And then I've been doing 4 bags at a time. So I've actually gone through two batches since I've last recorded. So this is my other Alice in Wonderland finish bags, the little teacups. And yeah, I love it. I love them. I'm getting a lot better at them. So here's what I was gonna say. So first of all, I was out of my ADHD medication for 2 weeks. During that time, I went acquisition crazy, had zero impulse control, and also started a million things and didn't finish a single one. So I started to reorganize my pantry again, didn't finish it. I started a bunch of new projects at work. Like, I was like, oh, hey, we should do this thing. And I go to my boss and she's like, that's a great idea. Plan it out. And I planned it out and she's like, that's a great idea. Start it. And then she's like, hey, when is this going to be finished? And I'm like, I forgot about that because I found this other thing. And she's like, oh. So like, I found like 3 issues, planned out a fix for them, and got halfway through the fix without accomplishing anything in the last 2 weeks. And then, like I said, I had been making these bags in batches of 4, and then I cut out 20 bags worth of fabric. So I have 20 bags of fabric, cut, ironed, interfaced, and I even have, because these quilting lines, I grid them out with a heat erasable pen before I sew them because I can't sew straight worth shit. So I have all of those gridded. So all I need to do is sew them all together. I've been making them 12 by 12 because I made this one, it was like 12 by 10. My other mushroom one I showed earlier was 10 by 10. And I got the 10 by 10 and I was like, this isn't gonna be big enough for like my mirabilias. I need to start making these 12 by 12 because this was like, I had to like put it fit, but I had to like put it under the flap to get it to fit like under this part right here. So it was like behind the zipper and I didn't like that. So I started making them 12 by 12. All the ones I just got out are 12 by 12. However, now I'm like, I've got these projects where like they're gonna have just fabric in them. So I'm gonna have like just one piece of fabric in this giant bag. So now I'm thinking what I need is to just make a variety of everything. So every time I make bags, I feel like I should just make it a different size. So these were all 12 by 12. The 20 I just cut out were 12 by 12, which is fine. I like the 12 by 12. I think it's gonna work better for like my mirabilias. I don't know that would fit in. I think I need to even make some wider ones again because I was thinking like the 16-inch ones were too big. However, I've got these. So I think I need to make some bigger ones. So I think what I'm trying to say is I was trying to come up with the perfect size and it's not gonna happen. I need a little bit of everything. Nothing's gonna be the same. These are all mine. Look, it's happening. Slowly but surely I'm adding. Eventually you'll look at this cart and it'll be all me made bags. If you are just here for the crafting content, thank you for joining. This is where I talk about and I ramble and I ramble and I word vomit. If you want to know more about me, because I know I didn't say a whole lot in the last video, or if you want to know what's going on with my life because you're like me and you want the tea and you're nosy, stick around. So where to start? Let's start with the hair, purple hair. So I dyed half my hair purple. I'm going back on June 5th to get it finished. It's not finished. She just had time to do the top later. So when I go back, we're gonna do the underlip. I'm gonna have her maybe lighten up the roots a little bit because I feel like the roots are a little too dark. That being said, I've been wanting to dye my hair purple or pink for like 10 years. I remember asking my boss when I had to work in the office like 10 years ago if I could dye my hair pink, if that would be okay, or if it'd be against company policy. And she was like, nope, you're good, go for it. Never had the balls to actually do it. This is me. I am somebody that would have purple or pink hair and crazy colored nails. Didn't plan on it. Have wanted it for 10 years. So it wasn't like it was not thought out, but I didn't plan on doing it this week. So June 5th, I'm gonna get it finished and I love it and I'm so happy. Next life update thing, sickness, hinted at it. So we went on a trip, I got sick. Jason, I thought I'd avoided it because it was like 5 days before he started showing symptoms. When I recorded my last video 2 weeks ago, I was feeling much better, had little to no symptoms except for my voice was still a little hoarse for about 2 weeks. A little under 2 weeks because 2 days. So my husband was still sick at the time. He got better. He had like 2 days where he was like symptom free. And then he went to a concert. And the next day he was so bad. Like that night he was coughing so hard. All this stuff was happening. And I was like, wow, like you're really going downhill. Like, I wonder, like, we had all these kind of crazy theories. Like maybe the mucus had settled in his chest, and because the bass was so loud, it like vibrated the mucus up, and that's why he was coughing. Like we were coming up with all this stuff. So finally he goes to the doctor like a couple days ago. And the doctor's like, yeah, you probably have like, I think it's some sort of sinus infection, bronchitis, maybe. Like, here's some stronger antibiotics. Because he had already went and got antibiotics when he was sick the first time. And he gave him some more medication, a new inhaler that's stronger, because my husband has really bad asthma, and sent him home. Jason's been on antibiotics for 2 days. He feels amazing today. Like, he woke up today, I was so mad because 2 days ago, my throat started hurting. And then last night, I felt like crap, like congested, coughing, mucus, all the fun stuff. And then what happened was we got a cold from traveling. And then Jason picked up another cold at the concert and then gave it to me because I was 100% recovered, like no symptoms for a week and a half. So we got hit with back-to-back colds, which is fine. It happens in life. I looked it up, Dr. Google, because I was like, is this normal? Like, because I have an autoimmune disorder. So typically I am more prone to get sick. Like last year to 2 years, my immune system has been pretty good. And I caught 2 colds back to back. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? We'll live. We're going to be okay. But I was so mad because he woke up this morning and he's like, I feel so good. And I'm like, good for you. I feel like crap. We're going to go see Brit Floyd, which is supposedly the best Pink Floyd cover band out there. I'll never get to see Pink Floyd, so this is the closest thing I'll get to seeing them. Last year, Jason and we have a kids museum around here called Boonshoft, and they have like a little planetarium. And after they closed at night, they opened it up to adults to do laser light shows. They brought them back. So they were like the old shows that they used to do back in the day. I remember going to see them when I was a kid. But they did a couple of Pink Floyd shows. They did like a Lizzo show and a Taylor Swift show. It was kind of cool. But we would go to those. And then we also went to Pink Floyd, had an album anniversary last year. And in Chicago, at the Planetarium in Chicago, they did like a special show too. That wasn't lasers, it was projection, but it was still pretty cool because seeing it like it's surround sound, like it's like all around you, right? So we went to that when we were in Chicago to meet up with my friends, and that was kind of cool. To see the Rolling Stones next month, which I'm so excited because I didn't think it was going to happen. And then we budgeted for it and we made it happen, and I get to see Mick Jagger. I'm so excited. But anyway, it's in Cleveland, and unfortunately, this is where it relates to crafting. It's the Saturday of StitchCon. So I did not know that when we purchased tickets. So I will be at StitchCon on Thursday and Friday. Saturday, I'm going to be in Cleveland at a Rolling Stones concert, and then I'll be back on Sunday for the half day. So you're going to miss me on the big day at StitchCon. I'm going to miss you guys, and I feel really bad about it. But also, Jason offered to sell our tickets, and I was like, no, we're going to see the Rolling Stones. So it was funny how I found out because I was syncing my personal calendar with my work calendar because I had some doctor's appointments I want to make sure I blocked off on my work calendar. And I was like, I'm scheduled off on the 13th and 14th of June. Like, what did I take that off for? Because there's nothing in my personal calendar. And I was sitting there thinking about it, and I'm like, well, the Rolling Stone concert is on Friday, but I know I didn't take any time off for a Saturday concert. I'm sorry, it's on Saturday. And I didn't take any time off for a Saturday concert. So like, why did I take off Thursday and Friday? And then it hit me and I was like, oh, that's StitchCon weekend. And Jason's like, how much were StitchCon tickets? And I was like, I am not missing StitchCon. Like, I am still going. And he's like, do you want me to we can sell our Rolling Stone tickets? And I was like, no, like I am making it happen. I'm going to be exhausted and hyped up on caffeine, but I am going to make it happen. And I'm going to try to see my friend Kim hopefully I get to see her for like lunch or dinner. That's also Father's Day weekend. And I'm the worst daughter ever because last year I was like, because Weekend B was really I think we just got into Weekend B. we said we'll take weekend A or weekend B. We got into weekend B. We made friends at weekend B. So I'm like, I'm going back to weekend B this year, but it's Father's Day weekend. And last year I was like, sorry, Dad, I'm going to StitchCon, so I'm not gonna be able to see you on Father's Day. He didn't seem to care. So hopefully he really doesn't, because I haven't told him yet, but I'm going back on Father's Day weekend again this year. Worst daughter ever. It's fine though. I gotta live my life, yo. Anyway, I also haven't told them. I'm pretty sure if I told my dad or my stepdad that I was going to Rolling Stones concert on Father's Day weekend, they would get really mad that I didn't invite them along. But also, yeah, this is the guilt coming in. Like, this is what happens. Like, I live my life and I'm excited and I like, you worked hard for it. You deserve it. Go do it, girl. And then I'm like, but I should have taken my dad's to this. Anyway, maybe I'll take him to like a Reds game or something later in the year, because I work for, I'm not going to say it on here, but if you did research, you'd easily find it. I work for the company that sponsors the Reds. So we get discounted Reds tickets. Anyway, go Reds, go Mariners. The Reds freaking suck this year. It's making me so mad because the players I love are doing so terrible. But then also the Mariners are doing really good, but Julio needs to get it together because he is not doing well this year. However, I was reading about it and they said that this is pretty standard for him this time of year, but he's stressing me out a little bit. Sorry if you're not a baseball fan, none of that translated. But so StitchCon, Rolling Stones concert, Brit Floyd concert, Red Hot Chili Peppers, my number one all-time favorite band. Went to go see them in Nashville a couple years ago and it was fabulous. John is back and he is rocking and the band is rocking and they are so good, and I feel bad for Josh, but hey, I'm sorry. Even Josh was like, no hard feelings, it's John freaking Frusciante. Like, how am I gonna get mad at that? He's like a freaking savant when it comes to music. Anyway, Red Hot Chili Peppers are coming to Cincinnati in July. It's July 4th weekend and we are going. And then the next weekend I'm gonna go see Train. What? Train is like my teenage Red Hot Chili Peppers, okay? They were the first band. I remember I had like a big stereo and it had 2 tape decks, and I would listen to the radio and I would wait for Train songs to come on so I could record them onto the tapes so that I could make my own mixtapes with Train songs. That was me. And listen, that was in the 2000s. That wasn't even in the 90s. So I'm an old soul. I am an old freaking soul. Anyway, I saw Train at the House of Blues in Myrtle Beach. My dad and my stepmom surprised me. We happened to be in Myrtle Beach for a vacation, and Train happened to be there, and they surprised me, and they took me to the House of Blues when I was like 13 or 14 years old to see Train, and oh my God, it was so good. And it was really cool too because it's such a small concert venue at the House of Blues. Like, it's a bar. I felt I was so freaking cool, right? So anyway, I have been wanting to go back. We're going to see Ringo Starr and his all-star band in August, might be September. I'm a Beatles fan. I have a Let It Be tattoo on my foot. So anyway, it's gonna be a good year of concerts. Want to go see Aerosmith. His tickets are outrageous, just like Rolling Stones. So we're saving up and budgeting. If it happens, it happens. If not, it doesn't. I think that's it for life stuff. I've been rambling for 30 minutes, but I hope I provided you lots of content for your knitting, crafting, cross-stitching, sewing, crocheting, quilting is sewing, spinning, tatting, whatever craft you do. Felting. I hope that I gave you some entertainment. If not, at least it was a good diary entry for me. I definitely word vomited all over the place. So now I get to watch myself back, cringe, edit the crap out of this video, hope that it's not 3 hours long, and then put it out there in the world and then not look for a couple days. Everybody that has commented has been so excited that I'm back. Thank you. I did not even expect to be this excited. I am so happy to be back. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking around. This is probably completely different than what you're used to. That's why I call it a diary entry. I hope you guys have a wonderful couple weeks. See you soon. Bye. What are you doing? Get down. Rebel. Hi everyone. Welcome back to the Diary of a Hyperactive Knitter. Still yet to be determined if that is the name I'm keeping. Of course, my neighbor's doing yard work and she's gonna be judging. But 'tis the time of life to do whatever the F you want. No fear of judgment. I think I'm going through a midlife crisis. Paper shredder, junk mail. I think that I left junk mail in the bathroom sink. Note to self. Don't pluck your eyebrows and your mustache and your beard right before recording a video. Okay, don't look at yourself, look at the camera. It means I need to hold them up. Stop looking at me. I thought about recording in a different room in my house, but to be honest, I'm too lazy to like move all this stuff. Here's gonna be the first of several blowing my nose breaks. But that means there's gonna be lots of blowing my nose and drinking my water and probably coughing. So a lot of editing, essentially. I don't know why I have such a hard time saying the word caterpillar. If you don't watch Jordan the Stallion on Instagram, you need to. I think he's more on TikTok, but I'm a millennial, so I don't have TikTok because I am afraid of what it would do to me. I already spent enough time on Instagram. But anyway, Jordan the Stallion, he is hilarious. He's my favorite TikToker, Instagrammer, and he put up a video of a ginormous caterpillar, and he said the only place that they don't live is in Antarctica. And I think I already mentioned in my last video, maybe I cut it out, about how I want to go to Antarctica and study the penguins. And those caterpillars, those giant caterpillars might just like push me over the edge to go do it. That and the fact that I really want to pet a free-range pet penguin. Anyway, fabric is from, Spoonflower. I'll try not to say the F-bomb. I'll try to edit out the F-bomb if I accidentally say it. It's gonna be so many edits and bloopers. Anyway, listen, here's my tip and trick. If somebody rambles too much, they talk too slow, whatever, it doesn't mean that you don't have to like them and still watch them. Just put them on 2x speed and then you get through their videos quicker. That's what I do. I love them even more because I can watch them faster. Okay? Anyway, I don't freaking know because I don't pay attention. Anyway, I love drama. Do it over time. That is a big freaking bird. A massive robin out there. Anyway, not used to it anymore, so I'd have to overthink that a little bit before I actually do it. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. Have a wonderful couple weeks.